Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing well. We are back with another What's Sold on eBay video. These are the sales from Friday. We will see the weekend sales as well. We're doing something a little bit different here. We have a $300 sale going out today too, which is pretty cool. Something from a big buy a while back. It finally sold for a best offer of $300. Super excited about that. My wife and I are trying something different. Usually we pack Friday through Sunday orders on Sunday. We're trying to see if it's better for us to pack them up throughout the weekend, like Friday and Saturday separate, just to relieve some of the burden of 40-something orders on a Sunday night and just dragging on. So she was nice enough, took the initiative, pulled all the orders on today for Friday. There was a couple she couldn't find because I had just listed them, but she found everything out. She did great. I appreciate that. And she goes, hey, let's try something different to see if we can make it so we have more time on Sunday and it's not such a burden where we have to spend hours and hours working. So hopefully splitting it up will help, but let's get into it and go over what sold. The Ultimate Sweater Machine, this sold for $300. Just kidding, it did not. This is a little piece to the Ultimate Sweater Machine. This one little unit sold for like 20 bucks and some change. I know I've sold a bunch of the sweater machine parts a while back. I got a whole unit. The box was beat up. I wasn't sure if it was really complete, so I just decided to part it out, and it was a great choice. We made quite a bit of money parting it out. There were some pieces that sold right away for like 27 bucks. Then I sold another set, I think, for 50 or 60. That sold for 20, another one for 20. It was pretty easy to just start making some money off parting it out. It's a pretty big unit, but you could sell that by itself and it will sell. So if you find one, you don't mind shipping something big and you have all the pieces, go for it. If not, part it out, you can make some money. I mentioned the yearbook in the last video. The same person had messaged me. One person bought one last video, and I mentioned I had a message on a couple other ones. They were looking for someone in the yearbook. Found out in this particular yearbook, the guy's name they're looking for is Mark. We won't say his last name, but he was in here. I found him. His 7th grade picture, so that was kind of cool, and they made a full price sale of 40 bucks for that one. The other yearbook they messaged on, he was not in there, so they weren't interested, but pretty cool. They paid full price 40 bucks. I'm happy about that. It sounds like it's going to someone in the family or a friend or something, and I think that's awesome. So that's a cool thing about yearbooks. Obviously, we can make some money, which is always nice for the business and for our own families, but pretty cool if someone finds a home and they're looking for a grandpa, their own yearbook from high school, maybe from their dad, from a parent, from a brother, sister, cousin, who knows, and go to a good home that way. Sold some Walking Dead comics. This is not the complete set. There's like 1 through 6. They sold for 26 bucks. I think if you have the whole set, or at least a large chunk of them, you can get over 100 pretty easy, but that little set sold for 26 bucks, 24 bucks, something like that. Not a whole lot. We got them, I think, for $5 at a sale. I couldn't remember what they went for, just paid the $5, and we made a little bit of money, but not really amazing. Better to have the full set. Sold a couple of hats. This is a Brighton, or I don't know, I think it's Brighton Supply hat. This sold for a best offer of 15. It was at 21 bucks on sale. I had best offers on all my hats, just so if I get a decent offer, they'll move. Someone offered 15, so it's only $6 away. I didn't counter. I said, you can have it. I would have probably, you know, if I don't take your offer, who knows when I'm going to finally get it to sell. So that was cool. And this is a Stussy hat. This is a Stussy New York hat. I sold the LA one right away for 25 or 30 bucks. This one took a while, but it sold for 25 on a best offer as well. Those were, I think, a couple bucks at a garage sale. So I've done really well on Stussy, the brand, the shirts, and now the hats as well. Definitely would pick it up again. Even though I'm not really a huge clothing person, those particular brands have done well for me. Here's a Sony headphone set, still not $300. We'll get there, guys. This little guy sold for $30 shipped, 25 shipped. I got offers on this thing, 20 bucks, 22 bucks. It finally sold full price. I knew it would. I did test it out and it works. It's not in perfect shape, but it works, so 30 bucks on that. A little Nespresso. This is like the little drip, like little grate or whatever that goes towards the bottom where you put your mug. This one sold for $14 shipped. Again, it came off one of those coffee maker units. The coffee maker, it was all beat up. Didn't feel like trying to clean it up and test it. I just parted it out. Got 14 or 13 bucks, 15 bucks just for this one little piece. It will go first class. This game I sold right away. This is one my wife couldn't find. Dante's Inferno. Listed it last night and it sold for $17. I have about $1 into it. I got 5 games for $1 a piece from one of my sources. They hold video games for me. I buy whatever they give me for $1 a piece. Even though sometimes it's not a good deal, I want them to come to me when it comes time for them to have products. So they start setting stuff aside. They're going to set VCRs now aside. They set systems. This past week I went there. I got a PS3 and a Wii in the box and a PS3 out of the box and a bunch of other stuff. A Bible that is listed for 78 bucks. I spent 80 bucks on everything, and they thought that was too high. They said, how about 60? And I said, no, I'll pay you 80. That's why I offered it. That, you know, I'm going to make plenty of money at 80. If you feel comfortable with it, works for me. And they felt happy. So because of that, they're great people, but also I want them to come back to me. So I'll always pay $1, even if I couldn't sell it. This case, this one worked out and it sold for 17. One of the other games for $1 will sell for about 10, but the other 3 are just going to go into my video game wholesale lots because they're not worth anything on their own. But keep that in mind if you guys find a source. Sometimes you buy stuff that may not be the best deal if you think it's going to open up more doors for you in the future. So that's a tip that's worked for me when it comes to networking. Here's something you guys probably wouldn't expect. Porky the Pig DVD. No, not 300, but this sold for 45 shipped. Brand new sealed. Got this from a garage sale. This is one of those archive collections. This one sold for 45 shipped. Crazy price for some cartoons on DVD, but great deal nonetheless. A Bible, not the one I just listed, but this is a Nelson's study Bible here. 2885N, I think is the number on it. Look out for the Nelson's Bibles, these nice leather ones. Some of them, not all are worth money, but definitely worth a chance. If you see them, take a look at them. Usually have a year inside. You can use that, and they'll tell you if it's like a New King James version, if it's NIV or whatever. Definitely a New Living. You want to find out what translation it is, if there's any kind of pertinent studies or additions, and then sometimes I have like a little number here, but this sold for like 50 something shipped for this Bible. I think we're in it for $5, maybe 10, but still got 50 something shipped. Awesome. Speaking of Bible story, there's a lot of 10 of these. These ones ended up selling for 195 shipped. I had to buy one of the volumes. I think it was this one. It does go with this set, but the other ones are a little bit more faded, but this one is the same set, volume 1. These sold for 95 shipped. We had 2 sets of these we had built. We bought 2 books for one and 1 book for the other set because they were not complete sets, but in this case it made sense to spend the money and buy the actual book to make a complete set. I spent $10 on this book, and then I sold the whole set for 95. And it will ship medium mail, but most likely because of the weight of these, it's going to end up going like FedEx or UPS. When you start to get heavier weight medium mail items, the shipping discount is not always as great, especially if it's in a smaller box. A lot of times UPS and FedEx can be really competitive. So don't just assume it's medium mail because it's a big heavy book set. Sometimes it can work out going UPS or FedEx. A Tar Heels football jersey, not really known for their football, but most people know them for basketball. But this one sold for like $18 shipped. It's got a couple of stains. Still sold for $18 shipped. I think I'm in it for $2 from a garage sale. Here's some Nike. I forgot what these are. You have to look on the screen. They're like boots. I got them for $5 at a garage sale. They got a lot of stains and marks on them, but they still look really, really cool. They ended up selling for like 70 something shipped. They were $5. It was a great garage. So this guy had awesome shoes. Super cool guy. He goes, I'm not really trying to make a bunch of money, just trying to get rid of some old stuff so I can make room in the closet. And I bought those and a bunch of other shoes from him, but those sold for 70 something shipped. Here is a Nerf stock. This goes to a Nerf gun. It goes kind of on the back of the gun. These sell well depending on which one you have. 14 shipped. It's going to go first class. A little bubble wrap. Probably put it in a bubble mailer. It's pretty sturdy, guys. It's not going to break. 14 shipped, first class shipping. Again, I've told you I've been parting out all those Nerf stuff that we had. If you don't want to sell the guns, maybe you can sell something else like the parts and make a few bucks. Here is the Nissan. I think it's a Sentra. I don't know. It's a license plate bracket. I bought this for $10. It came with this and the owner's manual for like a 2019 Sentra or something like that. And this was probably a year ago. And it came with all the mounting screws and everything. This was $10. I sold the manual, I think, for $30. And this finally sold for like $22. So not a great deal, but it was just easy. This is technically brand new. And it should go first class. By the time I get it bubble wrapped up and put it in a box, it should still be first class. And it's sold for 20 something shipped. And guys, I think we're down to the item you're probably all waiting for. It is the African American Expressions, The Sound of Victory. It's like a really nice, it's an artist-proof statue. This thing is like, it's crazy good quality. I got this from a buy where I was at Storage Unit Guy's sale. And this guy, I told the story before, he wants to I make a huge pile of stuff. Multiple bins, a bunch of these different kinds of statues. Those fairy figures that I've sold and like the witch figures. I had a huge pile of stuff. I spent over an hour building up this pile, knowing I was going to drop some coin. I was thinking around $700-800. And I'm like, I'm going to spend some money, but I don't care. I see the profit. And I spent all this time and I see this old guy looking in in my pile and he pulls these out. I have 2 of them. He pulls these out, pulls a jacket I have out of Hurricanes, Pro Player, all over, nice Hurricanes jacket, and a bunch of other stuff. And he starts taking it from my pile. And I'm like, hey, I'm already getting that stuff. I don't know the guy. And the guy gives me this dirty look and like tries to walk off with the statue. And I'm like, no, I'm already getting that. And I like kind of not really pull it from him, but kind of like put my hand on it like, yeah, that's my pile. And he kind of storms off all angry, goes over to storage unit guy, and's like, the storage unit guy comes back to me and he says, hey man, he wants that. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that, but I've already made this pile of stuff. I do business with you all the time. Tell me what your price is first. And if I can do it, you know, I'll do it. If you want to just give it to him, whatever, but that's kind of lame, man. I come here every week, you know, and I feel like, you know, if I've already looked it up, I've dug it out of all the stuff. Why should he get it just because he wants it? Found out later the guy's a pretty heavy buyer. He's got a lot of money, but the guy basically said he was going to give quite a bit of money to pay for it. We ended up negotiating. He threw in a bunch more statues and I paid $1,200. The guy didn't get it. It's probably the one time I was a little too cocky at a garage sale. Usually I try to be pretty humble. There's no need to be cocky. I don't think it gets you anywhere. But anywho, I kind of like said, hey, today, you know, my pockets are deep, I guess, today. So it's probably the only time I've ever done that. And I ended up with the statue. But this one sold for $300. So a pretty good deal there. The other one should go for $250 to $300 as well. On the statues alone, we were going to make all of our money back. Plus, I had 2 bins of VCR combos, the Pro Player jacket, I think a Playmobil set, a bunch of different stuff. It was well worth it for sure. Definitely was going to double up at least. But yeah, I don't recommend doing that, guys. Don't let your ego get in the way. But that time, I guess it did. So that's all I got for you guys. But there will be sales coming in the next clip for Saturday. I don't know if it'll be Saturday and Sunday together, but we'll make sure to show you guys those. And I'll see you in the next clip. Take care. Hey everyone, we're back with Saturday and Sunday, so you probably should have seen the Friday sales just now. I think we have another 34, 35 going out right now. A couple clothes I still have to pull. My wife pulled all the orders for me. She's working on that. I've told you guys in prior videos. She's kind of taken over that for me so I can focus on some other things. Really is a blessing and I appreciate it. So we're going to get into what's sold. A couple things I may not remember the price exactly on because I tried to look through it, but again, she's pulled the order, so she probably knows a little better than I do right now. So whatever you always see on the screen, that is what to go by. So we're going to start off one I don't really know off the top of my head. Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? This is a cassette. I want to say it's between $13 and $20 ship, something like that. Cassettes, again, most aren't worth money, but some have some value. Look them up. We sold a bunch of CDs. Most sold for like, or not a bunch, but a few CDs, $13.49. One is Utopia. It's like a self-titled Utopia. That was like $13.49, I think. And then the Manhattan CD sold for $13.49 as well, self-titled. So self-titled just means obviously it's the name of the band on the CD. Doesn't have a specific title. Life, Sex, and Death, The Silent Majority. This is from like one of our rap and hip hop cassette buys. This one sold for like $20 something dollars. This one sold a little bit better. It did take a while to sell though. It went on sale. Again, guys, if you're newer, when I'm looking at CDs, I don't know offhand which ones are worth money. The Media Marauder is a YouTube channel. He knows a lot more about some of the media stuff just by looking at it. I'm learning. But usually if I get a big bundle of CDs and I see something I've never heard of or something unique, I'll just scan barcodes. I'll sit down at the TV and I'll just scan barcodes while I'm watching TV and find ones that pop up to be valuable. After a while, you start to learn, okay, that one's not so valuable, but the odd ones you'll look up. We sold some more media, Utopia. I think this sold for 13 or 15 bucks, something like that for that. DVD. We sold a bunch of John Wayne DVDs. These are like the John Wayne collection ones. These are from the Hirsch buy. They sold for 30 bucks for the whole stack of those. At the Hirsch buy there was a bunch of John Wayne stuff, and I took all the John Wayne ones that were worth money on their own or that were sealed and worth money, and I listed those. Made one, I think one other small lot as well, and then I took all the rest and put them in one big lot, and they sold for 30. Armored Core sold for $13, $14, something like that, 15, 16 bucks. That's a pretty good PS2 game. There's a bunch of different Armored Core. This one's Armored Core 2. I think there's 3 of them if I'm not mistaken. That one took a little while to sell. It's not like the best game, but it does sell for a little bit more money. And then some Call of Duties for PS3. These 4 sold for like $21 or 20 and some change. I think they'll still go first class, just barely, because the PS3 ones are pretty light. Usually if I get Call of Duties on the Xbox 360 or PS3, I'll just lot a bunch of them together and eventually they'll sell in a big lot. Far Cry, the original PC one from the big PC buy, 20 bucks I think on that guy. I've done really well on that big box and kind of older PC games that I bought. We spent 10 bucks on the bundle. We've already sold probably $80 to $100 in just loose DVD or PC games. We did have that bid for $100 on the big box of them, but the buyer never came through, which I thought they would. When they didn't pay right away, I thought there would be an issue. So that one's already been canceled, and we've gone ahead and relisted, so we'll see what happens. Some other DVDs going out. This one is the best one, the concert for Bangladesh. When I got that recent book buy with a bunch of books and media stuff for $350 from one of my sources, he bought a storage unit. It looks like this person either had really good taste or they were almost a reseller themselves, because almost every item in there was pretty much sellable. This little DVD set used, 35 shipped, which is really great for a used DVD. Here's another thing to look out for. These are the books, the Chuck Missler like DVD-ROM books or whatever. CD-ROM, sorry. It's like a study guide, I guess, of Bible commentary stuff. I got like 6 of these for $5 at a garage sale a while back, months ago. I sold the first 4 like in a couple days. This one finally sold for like 14 or 15 ships, something like that. I don't remember, but they all sold super well, maybe even higher. But that was the last one. For whatever reason, it didn't sell quickly. But if you find those Chuck Missler CD-ROMs, look out for them. They do pretty well. The Rolling Stones, this one sold for I think 13, 14 bucks, 12 bucks, something like that. Another one from that big buy where we just sold that $35 DVD. Sorry for hitting the camera there. And then Iron Maiden from that same buy, Rock in Rio, this one sold for like $26 or $27. And that one was from the same buy as well. They had a lot of concert and different kind of musical artist bands, like DVD sets and stuff like that. And a lot of them do pretty well. Not all of them. Some of them are 8 to 10, 12. But then you find some that go for a little bit higher. So love media, guys. Not as exciting, but hey, man, it brings in money, helps pay the bills. And honestly, that's really what I'm trying to do here, is just get the bills paid. So definitely happy. We sold 2 more sets of Harlem Globetrotters, the little sweatbands and like the headband or whatever and the armbands. 2 sets. They sold for like 13 something each, separate buyers. I want to say we're almost out of the full sets of ones. We have the white ones with the text that are colored, but the white bands, those ones don't sell as well. These ones look a little bit better in my opinion, but still got 13 something a piece for those. Again, a great buy from, that was from a Salvation Army auction website. They have their own little auction website, kind of like Goodwill. Not as big, but it is there. A Shakespeare reel. This was a brand new one. It came with all those reels we got. This one, though, did not worth a whole lot. It sold for like 13 bucks, free shipping. It's going to go first class, but we're not going to make a ton. But it's brand new sealed. We can't pass it up. But we'll go to a better, cooler item. This is a cool, crazy kind of owl hat here. It's Phil Lewis art, Alternative Intelligence. This thing sold for 70 bucks on a best offer. Got it from the Hirsch buy. It was dirty and kind of scuffed up. Not that it was their fault or anything, but I think it had just been used and kind of worn, dusty. It looks nice and shiny. Washed it up, got it nice and clean. It looks great in my opinion right now. And 70 bucks on that is killer for a hat. Most of my hats go nowhere near 70 bucks. So if I ever see that hat again, or you see a Phil Lewis art hat, something like that. Plus it had the owl on the front, which a lot of people like owls too. A Nightmare Before Christmas jack. This is like a little thing for your car and it lights up. This guy sold for 13 bucks. We had 2 or 3 of these. We sold them already, a couple of them, and then I sold some Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. I had a couple of him too, and he sold. This is, I think, our last one. Sold a couple of shoes. These are some Cole Haan women's shoes. You probably can't tell what they are, but they're here. They sold for, I think, 30 bucks, and we paid 5 for those. They'll go out, you know, $8 to $10 or whatever. We'll make some money. 5 into 30 is kind of like the low point I want to be for shoes. I try to get shoes that if they're going to sell for more than that, I want to spend 5 and sell them for at least 30. If I'm only spending a couple bucks, like $2, I might drop down to a $25 sale if it's clean and I think it's going to sell. But I'm really looking for 5 into 30 and then deals beyond that. These ones are also 5. These Vans right here, size like 15, something crazy. They sold for 40 bucks, which is great. They're going to Florida, so they're going to end up costing probably $10 to $12 to ship them. But either way, again, I've only spent 5, so I'm okay with that. But that's kind of where I want to be with shoes. You know, you can obviously, some people are getting shoes for $2 or $3, but my average price on shoes is probably $5 or $6, it seems. So I try to find ones that are going to sell for at least that 30, so we can make some money. Sold some manuals and a yearbook here. These are from the big manual buy. Carburetor Basics. This one sold for like $14 shipped. It's Carburetor Basics Troubleshooting and Rebuilding. So I guess just kind of a generic one, but 14 shipped on that. Oops, sorry. Then we sold this Mazda truck manual. This one's got a beat up cover here, but this took a best offer of 20 shipped on it. I think it's going to Puerto Rico, media mail, which is a little sketchy sometimes, but usually they make it. So hopefully that one will be okay. Here's a book from where we got all those DVDs recently, Building a Resonator Guitar. There were no comps on this on eBay, not even a listing, I don't think. The cover is a little bit warped, but this sold for 22 or 24 shipped. I did find them on Amazon, I think, for like 30 or 30 something, so I dropped mine a little bit lower and it did sell. And then a yearbook here, Fairfax High, guys, 50 bucks shipped on this. We've been selling a lot of yearbooks. Don't sleep on them. I know they're going to be long tail, and I know some resellers have gotten out of it, but $50 yearbook here. We sold a $30 one, I think, in the last clip, and then we sold a $40 one in the last clip, and we sold a $30 one the day before. So that's, you know, what is that, $120 if my math is correct in yearbooks in a couple days. So granted, I have a lot of yearbooks, but if you can find them and you get them for cheap, probably worth your time. Here are some, I forgot what they're called, guys. I'm sorry. These little dolls here, you'll see them on the screen. They were from one of my newer sources. I just gave them my number. So we're at that level now. We've finally passed the just kind of acquaintances. We're in a little more serious relationship when it comes to eBay reselling. So once you get that number with your guy, you guys know how it is. Once you get that number, you know, you're hoping that the relationship will kind of grow. I know I'm kind of poking fun at the whole thing, getting the digits or whatever, but it is true when you're networking with people, if you can get the number and they're kind of texting you directly or contacting you when they're having the sale, you kind of build that relationship better. Before you know it, they're calling you to tell you they have something, not to come to their sale or whatever, and you're getting first dibs. So we did exchange numbers, so we're moving up, and I'm excited. It's a couple. They buy storage units, and I've already got a lot of good stuff from them. This was probably $1, and we sold it for 20 bucks first class shipping. So here's the Buzz Lightyear. Bought a bunch of Bose speakers and then a Build-A-Bear that had the Buzz Lightyear gear on them. I think I spent $5 on the Buzz gear, and this sold for like 16 bucks. We still have the Bear too, but I spent $5 on the 2 Bose speaker, and they sold for like 180. So that was a great deal, but the Buzz stuff wasn't as good, but we made a little bit of money. If you've been here long enough, guys, and you've seen these socks, go in the comments and put, you know, you're going to miss the socks, because I'm going to miss the socks. I got these from Storage Unit Guy. These are 3 kid socks, size like 3 to 9 or something like that. I got a whole box full, paid about $1 a piece for them. There's Pokemon, there's Sonic, there's Jurassic Park, there was Minions, and there was Mario, Nintendo or whatever. All brand new. We put $1 for each set, and these sold for like 13 or 14 shipped. They're on a big sale. They should not have been included in the sale because they always sell at full price, but eventually. This is my last set of 3 to go. This little set of 3 will go first class though, so we'll do okay. We'll probably $4 or $5 on the deal, but I made a lot of money off kid socks, and the worst part about it was they had a bunch of littler kid socks. Like they had like Paw Patrol ones and like whatever little girls shows would be, like Strawberry Shortcake I think they had, and a couple other like My Little Pony. I don't know what it was, but like smaller socks for smaller kids. And he wanted $1 a piece for those. I told him, hey, just give me a deal. I'll pay you like 50 cents a piece. And he said, no, I got to get $1. And I'm like, no, I'll just take the bigger ones because I know they're going to sell. I know bigger kids, they run through their socks real quick. They always need them because I know how my son's been. And I was right. These ones definitely sell better, but I should have got them all because we would have been making money for months and months and months to come. But we finally sold them all. That's my last bit of socks going out, so I'm a little sad. We did quite well on it, but it's one of those ones where you're super stoked, but you're also kind of kicking yourself a little bit for not just jumping in. But hey, it's better, I guess, to at least make our money and then not be stuck with a bunch of junk. But, you know, you live and you learn, I guess, and maybe it was the right call in the end. A Milwaukee Charger, owned by Oscar. So thank you, Oscar, for selling this at your garage sale. This sold for $21. I think I paid $5 for it. This one, it might just barely make first class. It's one of the lighter ones, but if not, it's a padded flat rate. Usually on chargers, I'm grabbing them for $5. I'm hoping they're going to sell for $25 and ship in a padded flat rate. I don't always look them up anymore. I just usually, if they're in good shape, I'll buy them. This one ended up selling for $21. So $5 and a $21. Not as great if it's going padded flat rate, but at least I'll know for the future this one's a little bit less pricey on the sales, and I might not want to pay as much. Here is a Cuisinart AFP7 or something like that. It's a little base here. This one sold for like 18 shipped. It's going to go like $8 or $9 to ship it, but it was just one extra piece. We're going to make some money on it. Most of the money in the food processors when you're buying the little ones is in the bowl, the blade, and the lid. This is just something I had, and it was worth selling because it's in good shape, and it did sell. Okay, guys, sorry to keep you for so long, but here's an Abercrombie & Fitch cargo shorts. These are some of them are called like heavy shorts if they're like the super thick, kind of heavy ones. These ones right here I got for $4 or $5 at the thrift store. They sold for $34. The Abercrombie & Fitch cargos don't sell that quickly. The real heavy ones do really well. Sometimes the camo ones do really well, and the bigger the size, the better. But size 34, it sold for 34 bucks. One time I bought a bunch of cargos on a Facebook Marketplace deal. I think I spent like 20 bucks or 25 bucks on like 8 or 10 pairs, and all of them sold for at least like 30 bucks. It was a great deal. I definitely would do it again, and I still pick them up. Again, they're not always long tail, but they will eventually sell. I'm not a clothing expert, but I've made quite a bit of money on Abercrombie & Fitch cargo shorts. Not sure why they sell, but I guess people that used to wear these. I mean, I remember kids at school when we couldn't wear Abercrombie & Fitch, but some of the kids at school that thought they were cool, they had the Abercrombie & Fitch cargo. So I was walking like the Walmart and Target steps, so represent. Yeah, so I guess maybe people are going back to buy them again. I don't know. We got like 4 or 5 of these little chests, little men here. They're not. There's no board. It's just the chest pieces. This sold for like 13 something. They ship first class. We got 4 of them for $1 each. They're multi-quantity listing. We're gonna make 20 bucks on the deal in the end once we add up all the sales. But it was just a really easy listing, and they were all in pretty good shape, so I grabbed them. A couple of things that are not here. One is an awesome sale, guys. This item is 200 bucks. It is a Pearl, I think, beer cooler. I think it's Pearl. It's over here, but I have to pull it off the shelf. It's huge. You'll see on the screen, though, guys. 200 bucks on this one. This one's been in my money pile for over a year. When we moved into our storage unit before we were staying at my in-laws' house before we bought this house, which was over a year and a half ago, I got this from storage unit guy. I thought it was cool. I'm like, well, once I'm going to list it, I'll clean it up. I'll list it. And it just sat on the shelf, and then eventually just got stuff put in front of it, and it was buried behind everything. It finally sold. I had it listed for $250 when we moved to the new house, listed it, and it sold for a best offer of $200. I want to say it's going to Michigan or the Midwest or something like that. Be great for a man cave or something like that. It's really cool. It's definitely got some character with the wear on it, but I think when you're buying something that old, you kind of expect that. Plus, I did disclose all the wear, but 200 bucks. It is big. You're probably wondering about shipping. We are going to wrap it in a thin layer of bubble wrap and then a bigger layer of bubble wrap as well, and then we'll put it in a box. It is pretty sturdy, but I still don't want it to get any more wear than it already has. I'm guessing shipping will probably be 40 plus on this one. Not super heavy, but it is just bulky. Luckily, it's only going to the Midwest and not like Maine or something or Florida, but we'll be okay. 200 bucks, it's out the door, great buy. We also sold a Bugatti Uomo, brand new with tags, shirt. I forgot what size it is, but it's over here somewhere buried. My wife couldn't get to it. It's not her fault, it's mine. And that sold for 33 shipped. We got like 4 or 5 of those for like 20 bucks at a garage sale, and they're all brand new with tag. This one sold for 33, which I was hoping to get at least 34, so that's awesome. It'll go first class. We also sold a set of Golden Bear, I think, putters, Jack Nicklaus putters. Not putters, golf clubs. There's like a whole set of the irons, and I think no putters or anything. No, I don't know if there's any. It's AccuForce, I think, is what it is, but I don't know if there's any woods or anything. But that sold for $100 shipped. I got it in a big golf buy that we had bought where they had some Callaway, I think, drivers and stuff, and they had these irons, and I grabbed them, and they finally sold for $100. So if you're looking for learning about golf and stuff, watch Bearded Thrift Machine. The dude really knows his stuff on golf. He makes a lot of money on it, and he's actually taught me some things, and he's cleaned up some golf clubs that I probably would have passed on, and they looked great when he was done. So shout out to him. Definitely knows his stuff, and he's a full-timer making a lot of videos and content. So definitely think it's worth your time. And I think, guys, that is it. That is all that I have for you here today. Someone asked me to kind of go through some new channels that I'm watching, so I'm going to try in every video to mention some. So I mentioned Bearded Thrift Machine, The Media Marauder, if you're looking for media stuff. Another channel is Dana Invests, D-A-N-A space Invests. He's got like 100 and something subscribers, but the dude sells quite a bit of stuff. Definitely different personality. Everybody's, style is unique and different. But if you're looking, especially if you're new and you're looking to learn kind of what's selling, he's sold a lot of stuff and different kinds of stuff, and it's always good to check him out. And I'm going to try to mention some other people on here because I want to give some shout outs to some people who are making content. Hopefully you guys can check them out and see if it's something you want to watch. So thank you again. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.